Imagine your life is in danger, and the only way to survive is to run from your own country, to leave behind your home, your world, and everything you've ever known, to be cast on the shore of uncertainty, never knowing if or when you can go home again. This is the life of child refugees. War, famine, drought, religious persecution. These are some of the disasters that force people to become refugees. These families must run away from their homeland because their own countries can no longer provide for their safety. Only when they are desperate and there is little or no choice do people leave behind the homes, lives, and communities they have spent years building. Today, there are 20 million refugees worldwide under the care of the UN Refugee Agency, UNHCR. Many of them are children. These refugees live in temporary camps under tents or in homemade housing. They are citizens of nowhere, waiting and hoping they will be able to go back home again. In Africa, many refugees have been forced to flee from the Democratic Republic of the Congo, a country that has been torn apart by war. Since the mid-1990s, 3.3 million people have died as a result of fighting, disease, and starvation during this conflict. As government forces battled rebel groups, which were supported by the neighboring countries, 150,000 residents of Congo abandoned their homes and fled across the border to Tanzania. Almost half of these Congolese refugees are children. Like Echenyenge, who's been in Tanzania since he was 10. He is now 14 and lives in the Lugufu refugee camp. Sophia Moke lives in the same camp, and like most of the children here, she suffers terribly from hunger. Despite the hardships of life as a refugee, every day more children make the dangerous journey out of the Congo to the Lugufu camp. The Fataki brothers, Kititwa, Benjamin, and Wakenge, and their 2 nephews, were living peacefully in a small village in Congo with their mother and father when rebel groups invaded their village. Their mom was harassed for being a Tutsi. For several years, the Tutsis in Congo have been persecuted by another ethnic group called the Hutus. And since a number of the Tutsis have joined forces with the rebels, the trouble has escalated.
When these people used to see my mother on the street, they used to jeer, calling her names. You are a Tutsi, you are a Tutsi. We knew this was a big problem.
Although the Fataki's mother had no part in the rebellion, she was killed, just for being a Tutsi. Shortly after that, their father died. And being sons of a Tutsi woman, they became easy, desirable targets. Their oldest brother, Magumo, told his siblings they must separate and flee. He asked them to take his own 2 sons and head to the ferries that would take them to Tanzania. Magumo would take a different route and meet them there.
I was crying a lot because I was really scared. One of my friends from school was killed, shot in the head. I could see the bullet went all the way through the back of his head, and I saw the blood. This was my friend.
The journey by foot was long and tiring, and each step brought more danger.
It was very difficult for the little one to walk. His feet were very swollen, so we had to walk very, very slowly. Some of us had to carry him on our shoulders. But on the way, we saw lots of soldiers. They kept asking us, "Where are you going?" We kept telling them, "We are just moving away because there's a lot of danger over there." We were so nervous we'd be caught.
I was afraid that we would never get to leave, that we would get stuck over there. Then I saw the two boats. I was so happy.
Under the cover of night, they snuck onto boats and slipped out of the Congo. They traveled in darkness for 12 hours, and then, at daybreak, they transferred to a larger boat that held more people.
We got on the boat, all of us. There were a lot of people on the boat.
The Fatakis were crowded in among strangers for the cold, choppy ride.
We stood on the boat and the wave started. The water was very rough. It was very, very cold. People were trying to get rid of the water out of the bottom of the boat. They kept saying, "Oh my God, the boat is leaking." It was really cold and we felt it. But with God's help, we arrived.
They landed safely in Kabrizi, Tanzania, where there is a refugee transit center for arriving Congolese. It's here that the UN resettles evacuees into refugee camps. The Fatakis were processed through the system. They filled out forms, received health checkups, and were given necessary vaccines. Finally, they were assigned to the Lugufu camp. Lugufu is one of 2 refugee camps that cover an area of about 20 square miles. With each camp housing over 30,000 refugees, the camps are like cities, built out of mud and straw. Families are assigned to live in an area designated by village, block, and plot. But many families are not complete. They are missing loved ones who were separated during the journey, like the Fataki's older brother, Ngumo. Missing family members is especially painful for the children. In Village 32, Block 15, Plot 16, Echenyenge lives without his parents. He does not know where they are. He came to the Lugufu camp 4 years ago with his brother Saleh when their family fled from the Congo. While escaping, Eche and Saleh were separated from their parents, and they have not seen them since.
When I think of my parents, there is no sense of peace. They are not here, so I can go to them when I have problems, and I need help with my problems. I have so many memories of them. I remember them a lot.
Missing his parents consumes Eche. His brother has tried to convince him many times to concentrate on the present instead of the past. Although Saleh is frustrated with Eche, he also understands and tries to encourage him.
I'm concerned about you. You're upset. Is this how you want to live?
Life is tough. There is so many problems. I don't know.
Listen, we are refugees right now. We don't have our parents with us, but we can still remember them and do the things they taught us to do. Their words and feelings are now part of us. And we have each other. We must help each other. And maybe one day things will get better.
Eche feels so much grief. It's hard for him to let go or move on.
When I was with my parents, I used to have dignity, respect. Other people respect me.